An up-close look at border wall construction happening southwest of Tucson. Good evening to you. I'm Brooke Wagner.
And I'm Shaylee Sanders in for Dan Marius tonight. Border authorities and protesters were out at the border as construction continues near the Lukeville port of entry. Today, planned detonations as House hearings are underway for that border wall construction.
KOLD News 13's Megan McNeil joins us from that area southwest of Tucson now with more on what's happening.
I'm here outside of the Lukeville port of entry where earlier today a stretch of 250 feet of land was detonated by more than 400 pounds of explosives. Organ Pipe National Monument, home of Saguaro, Cholla, and now a fight over a wall. Border agencies today touting their construction methods along Monument Hill.
Fire in the hole.
The detonation, one of many as construction continues on the wall, stretching into what Tohono O'odham Nation leaders call a sacred space.
It's like going to your grandmother's gravesite and putting dynamite on her gravestone and blowing it up and saying we got to build a wall through it.
No border wall! Save Organ Pipe!
A mile from where the wall is being built, Vanna Lewis lines up with other protesters, chanting, "No border wall." As a member of the Tohono O'odham Nation, she says these lands, specifically Monument Hill, where the explosions were, are sacred places and burial grounds.
This is intentional to wash us out as people, from boarding schools to the militarization to blowing up our sacred sites.
As the detonations go off here in Arizona, the chairman of the nation is going off on Congress, speaking with House committees in D.C. on this very topic.
The federal government's continued destruction of our religious and cultural resources and nothing less but bulldozing of our church grounds and our cemeteries. For us, this is no different from DHS building a 30-foot wall along Arlington Cemetery or to the grounds of the National Cathedral.
CBP says they have worked with tribal communities and understand some areas of federal lands are considered historically significant, and have worked with the National Park Service to scour the land looking for, quote, culturally significant objects.
For us within the project area, it's actual tangible artifacts that they can identify. Within the project zone, particularly in Monument Hill, we've not identified any of those types of things.
Just because you don't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Just because you don't see people half out of the ground and half in the ground doesn't mean that it isn't an ancient burial site.
Remains believed to have been human, found just 10 miles away at the Quito Paquito Springs. Construction pushes on, with many more miles to go, certainly an explosive topic for as long as it does. As border wall construction continues, that could mean more detonations just like the one here today. Reporting in Lukeville, Megan McNeil, KOLD News 13, live local 8 breaking.
Customs and Border Protection say they have built 9 out of the 43 miles planned in that area. The new wall will be double the height of the existing one. And here's what Arizona's Representative Raul Grijalva had to say about the border wall construction in that area. He says, quote, "No matter how Border Patrol tries to frame it, Monument Hill is a sacred site to the Tohono O'odham people. Blowing it up to construct Trump's useless wall is a slap in the face to the O'odham public and an emblematic of the Trump administration's disdain for cultural heritage and history," end quote.